All right, back in the Hatch Studios at it again, here with founder Chris McCormick. And Chris, today, one of the things I'd love to talk more about with you is the human element of what we as entrepreneurs do. So, if you would, I know you've had your hands in a lot of things over the years, but thinking back to maybe some milestones along the way from like when you did your first business by yourself and then when you started to involve others and what that looked like.
Yeah, 2014, Tracy and I decided to break
That's your
out.
wife, Tracy.
Yeah, Tracy. Decided to break out on our own. We had been doing this at different firms and places for a long time. I'm a little older than she is, so we met at a firm that we used to work at, and worked really well together. She's mathematics and economics major. My degrees are in graphic design, watercolor painting, and sculpture.
Wow.
So,
good complementary skill set there.
yeah, but I don't pretend to be able to play in her world, and she doesn't play in mine. So we just have learned to trust each other over the 12 plus years we've been doing this.
Okay.
And we just decided to roll on our own. We had a couple clients that were going to come with us. We didn't have any backing from banks or anything because the banks looked at us and said, "Hey, it's a husband and wife team that are going to quit their jobs on the same day." And so
high risk.
Yeah. So what we needed to get started was a CNC machine and a building, and nobody wanted to
give you either.
Yeah. And we had moved. We were working at a firm, bought our house, went to another firm for a year, and when we bought our house, we were able to get quite a bit of equity immediately. So we left that second firm and said, "Hey, we're going to strike on our own." We didn't take any salaries for about 18 months. We lived on a home equity line off of our house. Tracy's superpower is to figure out 16 ways to make a dollar go farther. And I've always had a knack to just figure out how to way to make more dollars. But back to that bank part, at the beginning, we had to find some partners. And when we were looking for spaces, somebody we were familiar with said, "Hey, these guys are looking at this building as well." And I was like thinking, nobody ever needs the exact amount of space when they move that. So I was like, why don't I get a hold of BJ or a friend of mine, Alan, and said, "Hey, Alan, why don't you ask BJ if he has any interest in this?" So they became a 49% partner. We were a 51% partner.
And was this what is now HatchX, or was this a different
This
venture?
was Hatch Exhibits at the time. And it was going fine for what it is. They were more in the lighting, stage sets, a different aspect of what we were doing at the time, which was primarily just trade show exhibits.
And this was two partners you were looking to go in with?
Well, it was called Event EQ.
They had that company.
That company.
Okay.
And there were a number of people involved in that. Well, a little ways through that, a company called LMG wanted to buy Event EQ. And in our write-up agreement, it said for 5 years, HatchX or Hatch Exhibits could not be bought or sold.
Okay.
So we were going to jam up their much bigger
Oh, that's interesting.
Deal if we didn't want to go along with it.
Okay.
And the way we were looking at it was we made this agreement with Event EQ, and the agreement was for 49% stake. It was a cash deposit, use of the building, and the CNC. Well, now LMG owns the building. LMG owns the CNC. So the only thing that was left, and they never even gave us the full cash deposit to get rolling. So, and we said, "Hey, we don't want to be part of this," and we technically legally can't be. So
right.
We were able to get the entire company back for, next to nothing.
Wow.
So
that sounds like it worked out. I mean,
it really worked out.
You're spelling all this out, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is just adding complexity. Is the more opinions, the more stakeholders that get involved, the more muddy the waters become.
And thankfully, we were 51%, so we didn't have to take much input.
But it doesn't sound like you had to steamroll much either. It was a mutually beneficial thing. They wanted to go their way, you went, so that worked out.
Yes.
Having talked to a number of you were a husband-wife duo from the jump then with this. I mean, man, you want to there's elements of me that's actually jealous of that because I've told you before, I've never had a partner that's taken any interest in any of the ventures that I've been part of. And I watch those that do, and it just seems like a thing of beauty because, in the world of business, finding people that you just trust implicitly. And I mean, it's already kind of built into the marriage, hopefully. And, so it seems like it'd be a great place to start, but you're doubling down on all the things that can add stress to a relationship.
And it has.
On top of a business.
At the beginning, it was real rough.
Yeah.
Because it really wasn't something that Tracy's.
I wish she was here to speak for herself. Yeah. Maybe we'll do that another time. But
sure. But she'll tell you this is not necessarily what she would have chosen to do, but it's what she's really good at. Yeah. And
I mean, is that typical of just what it takes to be the partner of Chris McCormick? You kind of along for the ride sometimes?
Maybe. There's definitely a will to get something done.
Okay.
But and it's had remarkably stressful times, and it has times when it's reached into our personal relationship.
Is it something you recommend to couples that are or like? I mean,
there's times when I would say
no,
but on the whole, I could not have asked for a better person, partner, situation because she does all the finances. She does the things that I'm horrible at.
Yeah.
And I could not have, I mean, there is no better situation for me.
Yeah.
The company, I hopefully, and I won't speak for her as well.
Yeah.
But it has definitely had moments when it's.
So can you speak a little bit to and you don't have to get too personal with it, but when you guys don't agree on something, how you navigate that?
It's a lot less now.
Yeah. And that's based on the trust that you've built with each other's roles over the time.
Well, like I said, one of the first ones is when we went down to Terrell Tech, and I was looking for a vinyl cutting machine or something that would do vinyls for counters. That's it. Mm-hmm. And we were working on a project for Under Armour. And I had a whole bunch of print vendors around here trying to print very small text on acrylic. And back then it was a challenge because the print just wanted to flake off. Nothing would stick. Mm-hmm. And they had a machine there, and they had acrylic, and they just happened to have this tiny, tiny text. And I was like, what made this? And they're like, this machine right here. And I'm like, you're kidding me.
I need one.
And I came back, going down there to look at a $5,000 little vinyl plotter. And I'm like, we have to have this.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, because we always said we were not going to get into any of the print production. But the problem we were having was 30% of the time the stuff was wrong. And we had one vendor, local vendor that, printed something. It was very wrong on their part. And they just said, we're not going to do anything about it.
They just left you in a lurch.
Yeah. But so...
Great.
Tracy and I
Great customer service there, guys.
Yeah, it was, thankfully, they're one of the reasons we have all of that stuff. But it almost got us divorced. Like, she was so adamant, and I'm like, we have to have this. And it was a struggle then because it was a big number for us at the time. And she went on our family vacation a day before, I ended up not going. And then I met up, a day or so later, and then she left, before. So, I mean, it was a lot of struggle.
Yeah.
But the more of these things that we get and they turn out to be the right things to do, there's a lot less of that. I mean, there's almost none of it now.
Well, at this point, if you were to walk through HatchX these days and see every piece of equipment, that's out there, clearly you've earned your trust in making those decisions, and they've paid off.
And rightfully so. She should have pushed that hard, because then you need that, here's my stance, and we're gonna find a place in the middle.
Now, was there a time she said no and you listened?
Yeah.
And you said, okay, all right. Okay.
So I'll sit back, and so I have a little test internally. Is this a thing I believe in so much that I'm willing to get divorced over this thing?
Is it a hill you're willing to die on?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's sometimes, and I'm like, no, this is not, she'll push back and say, hey, I don't think we should. And I'm like, this is not one I'm going to, lay down for. So I'll back off, and I'm like, you're probably right.
I don't want to spiral too deep into this, but I've talked on past interviews and podcasts about as entrepreneurs, we are constantly confronted with these all-in moments where it feels like, okay, here we are again. We're going all in. And, history, writes about the winners, not the, losers. So thankfully, the ones that stay around are the ones that actually win on these all in moments. But I wonder how many of those, went wrong and that was the end of it. And thankfully it didn't pan out that way.
We haven't had a lot of those, but the other big all in moment was during the pandemic. Well, we're an event company that basically was shut down for 20 plus months.
Right.
We laid everybody off on a Friday and came in and started prototyping some things over the weekend with a couple of, at the time, core members of the group, outside the box thinkers, people that could just help put together some prototypes.
Yeah.
At the end of that weekend, we had a prototype face shield and a gown. We put them out on social media, and it went absolutely bonkers.
That was a crazy time. Yeah.
So we were selling units into the tens of thousands on Monday. So literally over a weekend. And
where were you posting them? Like, how did people know? And so Facebook, so like hospitals, anybody needing PPE found you on social media.
Who were, who worked in hospitals, the nurses, they were like, hey, you have to see this stuff.
Yeah.
And by, end of that week, we pretty much had everybody back to work. But over that weekend, I came in on Saturday. I came home Saturday night, and PETG was very hard to find. And one of our key suppliers for plastics, I called her up on a Saturday. She answered the call, and I said, you buy
I'll take everything you got.
Everything.
I did something similar. Not at this scale, but I remember this moment as well.
Pushed in.
Yeah.
And Tracy's like, what the hell are you doing?
I don't know. That's
yeah,
going to be the precious resource. Yeah.
And I'm like, we're, if we go bankrupt with an extra $200,000-$300,000, it's not going to make any difference. And that turned out to be one of the biggest bets that paid off ever.
That's awesome.
And I still have like massive amounts, and it's still the best.
And they're amazing. I mean, I feel like the Operation Shields Up thing that we did was just so rudimentary compared to like some of these designs that you were doing. But it was a kind of a different venture. We did it completely as a nonprofit partner, just to kind of keep people at the makerspace busy at much smaller scale. I was proud of what we had done, but then to see what you did and productized, and then you were doing it with the mindset of like, I got all these people, I got to get back to work. Yep. And so classic entrepreneurial moment of pivoting and, right place, right time. You got some media coverage, and it sounds like it was a good play.
It was. And then it kept my entire team together.
Yep.
So when we came out of the pandemic, where a lot of these places had to, lay people off, people had to go find other jobs. When the events started happening again, we were fully ready to go.
Yeah. And trauma bonded to some extent, around that kind of like, hey, we rallied around this. It was probably good for morale.
Yeah. But during that, we also picked up more automation. We won the Maryland Manufacturing Innovation Grant, and we were able to get more tools that we were then able to transition over to event production again once we stopped building gowns and face shields. So, and that's what's helped us really punch above our weight here. And we run pretty lean people wise, and the amount of work we can push out is pretty fantastic.
All right, we jumped ahead just a touch. So, obviously we talked about you and Tracy starting, but then we kind of leapt into another time where you already had a bunch of people. Talk to me about what your first hire was after it was originally just you and Tracy.
It was somebody in the shop to help me.
Just an assistant, just
I need a cabinet builder,
somebody that can wear the hat, many hats, and have some ability to think on their feet and problem solve, that kind of thing. Yeah,
because I would do the designs, and then I would take them back to the CNC. I'd cut everything, I'd build everything. There's only so much, sometimes I need a second set of hands on something.
Okay.
So that just getting a second cabinet builder was a key one.
So when you were going through, I mean, think back to this, and you're like, okay, well, I can't do all of this myself anymore. Excuse me. Of all the things that you could pick to bring somebody on to like take something off your plate, what was your mindset? Like, the guy to do that labor is the right choice as opposed to any of the other 100 things you were doing at the time.
Yeah, it just had, because we were designing and building.
Yeah.
When I was designing, there's no way I could also be building.
Yeah.
So I could design things up, get them cut, and then get them over to a fabricator.
And you felt it would have been harder to find a designer, or you enjoyed the design more yourself?
I did enjoy the design. Still do. I don't get to do a lot of it anymore.
Yeah.
And that's what I was core at. But I had also done this previously where I was the design, portion of a company and then built out a fabrication firm.
So that was more familiar to you.
Yeah.
And it seemed like the path. Okay. So you went from one cabinet maker assistant, and then was it a second, or did you find another role to fill?
No, the first number were either shop, warehouse, installers. They were all hands-on, like, structure fabrication.
Okay.
Because a cabinet builder could go out and help me install something.
And give me a sense of timeline here. Where are we in this? Because you said
first 18 months.
First 18 months. So
Tracy, myself, and then, some of the people I would get would be temporary, just 1099. I need them for a couple of weeks,
contractor,
couple months.
Sure.
Yeah.
Okay. But this was the first full-time hire.
Yep. Still was a cabinet maker.
And then you kind of supplemented in there with a couple of contractors maybe. And then, So at what point was the payroll, this is when the payroll was established, and I'm assuming the workload of, all that was on Tracy to set up all the things needed for compliance and all the things I hate doing. You probably hate doing as well. Yeah. But so that got figured out. And then what's the next growth inflection point in the story?
It was adding graphics, a lot of production. So probably one of the next ones was a 2D designer, somebody who could do graphic design, who also then helped me set up the print production area.
Mm-hmm.
So I had, we were probably 3 or 4 cabinet builders deep, and then started the event production or the graphic production section. Mm-hmm. We started looking for salespeople. One of the key first people we got was Kevin.
We talked about Kevin yesterday.
Yeah, Kevin's still
Kevin.
here.
Yep.
Yeah, and
right.
we had experimented with a couple other salespeople just to bring things in.
Mm-hmm.
But I always felt uncomfortable bringing a whole bunch of salespeople in because I don't think we had our marketing materials up.
Right.
Things to give them to go do their jobs well, we kind of lacked.
Right.
So.
Okay, so that's there's a lot of meat on that bone alone too. But just to try to stay with the thread here for a second, where were you finding your people? Like, were these just referrals? Somebody you worked with in the past? Were you going to Indeed, or I don't think Indeed existed then, but online?
I had a network because I'd done this before with a company called the Stevenson Group.
Mm-hmm.
When I met them, they were 2 people, and then we built that up into a pretty sizable place.
Okay.
So I had already built a production shop before. So I had hired people from there, when we were there. And then when they folded, I had a whole resource library of people that I had worked with in the past. So I got a few of them to come on board.
How long were some of these people with you? Or you mentioned Kevin, who's still with you, or any of the other the OGs still with you?
No. And sometimes people that get you to a place are not the ones that are going to get you to the next.
That's, yeah.
But, I still talk to almost all of them. They moved on, Bob.
That's nice. Yeah.
And Bob was going to the 3D printing side of things. Bob was at the end of his career. Bob was remarkably talented, had been doing it his whole life. Bob was not at this point very fast. He's a little slower, he was coming up on it. So I had an Airwolf 3D printer when we got into 3D printing.
You still do. I saw it in the storage.
Yeah.
The storage down there.
And I used to say, man, this thing can print some pretty remarkable things. It can do amazing stuff, but it is not fast.
Right.
And that was Bob.
Right,
Bob
right,
could
right.
do all kinds of things, but he was just, slowing down in that section or season of his life.
Sure.
But then it just got to be where we were so fast paced that it started to be a safety issue.
Okay.
He was pulling some plywood off, had gotten himself over his skis, and it was time.
That couldn't have been an easy conversation to
No,
have.
and he's a wonderful human being, and he
Right.
still comes in at Christmas time, and he's even come in and help us decorate around here at Christmas time.
Was there ever an
if you-
attempt to try to transition him into anything else, or you just didn't have the luxury of being able to do that at the time?
Not at that time. And if you look at my phone under favorites, Bob's still in the
Bob's in the favorites.
still in there.
Well, and we've talked about this in the past as well, but I'm very gun shy as a entrepreneur around, and I've had nowhere near as many people as you have, but like having gone up to 5 people, and I mean, I guess technically when we were doing the face shield operation, it was a volunteer organization, and there was like 3 different facilities with like 30 plus volunteers at each. So I've definitely managed people. But I've learned over the years, it's just, I don't enjoy it. I think my expectations are just probably too high. And a lot of it's taken some inflection and stuff. And it's not to say that I couldn't get back to a place that it may become necessary again, or I may choose to do it again. But some of the things I'm more excited about are like automation systems and all these things that, are not probably popular with humans that are like, wait, you're part of the problem here. But I also just don't have the same level of like chill that I've noticed that you have in terms of the patience that having people requires. Can you talk about that?
I would guess that there's other people who probably don't see it that way because, I'm good till I'm not good.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm good till
Well,
I'm
it's
not
always a
good.
gamut, and I understand. Like there's people that just have infinite, Mother Teresa patience levels, and then everything in between. But
I tried, and I've gotten more of it as I've gotten older. I'm not quite as hot-headed, but there's that part that you want it done a certain way, and when you start working with a team, it can't be that way. I've found people that I can push things, just say, I don't need to micromanage it. Around here, we try to hire adults and expect them to perform.
So you're not running a shop of children here, is what you're saying. Okay.
And if I have to get in and micromanage, and I've had to,
But people that are responsible have work ethic,
Yes.
some fundamental skills.
and if they don't, they're not going to last long.
Yeah.
And I've got some really key. I mean, everybody here is fantastic.
Yeah.
And the people that don't come in with that mindset don't last very long.
Well, tell me about one of those times that it was a miss, maybe, because everybody paints a great picture when you first meet them about how, they're putting their best foot forward, and we get energized.
You get all kinds of stuff, man. You get people, that have had substance abuse issues. You have, you try as a human being to work in those situations, and I've had a couple of them.
Yeah.
I had one individual who had a substance and also started stealing things from here.
Yeah.
And it was really tough because that was somebody I had known for a very long time before we even started this.
So you're giving this person probably a lot more grace than you would give another, because you had a pretty deep personal
Correct.
relationship with him.
And that was really tough. And I gave I said, listen, man, here's the deal. Here's your get out of jail free card. I need to know everything right now.
Yeah.
And they said, this is it. And then a few months later, almost a year later, it came to light that wasn't, I don't think anything else had happened after that, but there wasn't a full laying the cards on the table where they were. And at that part, it becomes honesty.
Yeah.
I can't trust you, and I couldn't trust you then, but I can identify from a human element that there were some issues. We'll help you through those issues. But then I've had other people in similar situations that didn't have, I didn't extend those same things to, but I also didn't have the personal connection to them. So,
you're identifying there part of the reason that I'm just, kind of gun shy on the whole subject in general because humans are the biggest variable in the entire thing, and they can be great for years right up until the point that they're not, you know. And not to criticize Bob, but like there's scenarios too where it's like they're a great worker and they fill a good, you know, need at a specific point in the business, but you know, seasons change and we have to be able to adapt and all that stuff. And so, you know, having that flexibility to do that, I guess it makes me wonder, is the chill or the accepting of being more accepting of those things, is that a luxury of some level of success? Because if you're running closer to the wire, you know, you can't afford to trust people that much. It's like I'd be zero tolerance. If you're stealing from me, that's a zero tolerance for me. You're gone. Yep. I don't care if you're my mom.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if I'm that. Yeah, no, I'd fire my mom, sure.
When you have more limited resources,
Yeah.
then those become more necessities. You don't have as much latitude, I guess. Your margins don't permit it, you know, and especially when other people are relying on those resources being used effectively and somebody's taking advantage of that or not performing. It's unfair to everybody else. So one of the analogies I like is I'm the coach of a baseball team. My job is to always be trying to find a better person for that position to make the entire team better. The players or the employees their responsibility is to make sure I can't do that. So, you know, if I can find a better shortstop, it's going to benefit the entire team. It's the shortstop's, you know, job to make sure I can't find a better one because they're putting in the effort to do it to the highest part, you know, that they can.
Yeah. So, you know, in a pure meritocracy, I guess that's fine. I think it's just hard to count on people sometimes to recognize that, you know, it sounds a bit harsh. You know, like your job is always in jeopardy. If somebody better comes along, you know.
And I say that loosely. I mean, but that is ultimately, you know, the best use of resources because it has to benefit everybody. If somebody's not pulling their weight, everybody else starts to look around and it's like, well, if they're not doing it, why should I?
No.
So,
all right. So to try, I mean, I know we could talk about this for quite some time. It's a fascinating topic, and it's one that I know a lot of entrepreneurs are you know, very.
It's the hardest part by far.
Yeah. What advice then, based on what you've learned over the years? Now we're jumping way ahead, but I think you said 2013. When did
2014.
Hatch? 2014 is when Hatch started. Yep. So we're a little over a decade at this point. And you know, by all metrics, you guys have achieved a great level of success, but I'm sure there's lots more to go. What advice do you have for, you know, the entrepreneur that's getting started up now and might be on the fence about, like, it's time for my first hire? That's a big jump.
My biggest advice is to know what you're jumping into. It is not easy. If you don't love what you are doing, there are going to be times where you will want to quit. And if this isn't what you're really vested in, you are, the chances of you stopping and just saying this isn't worth it are much higher. You really have to, because there's times when it's really tough. You know, my longest continual, and I just could 46 and a half hours straight. Like, wow, there's no way you can fail. Like, especially in what we do, it's not like we're putting in a kitchen. And it's like, hey, we're going to miss this date. You know, the wood didn't come in. We're going to not put it in on Monday. We're going to put it on Thursday. If I miss a date and, you know, company X has spent millions of dollars to get, you know, at this party, and we just don't show up with the set, man, you don't recover from that.
So you better love it.
Yeah, you better love it, man. I've had so many days where it's 30 plus 40, you know, hours. I've slept under, you know, tables and, you know, and that's a lot. And that's, you know, the other nice thing about doing this with Tracy is she can pick up the slack at home or in other areas. And like sometimes when her season is really busy, I pick that up for our family and things like that.
So just to have somebody that can pick you up. So then you'd say having your ride or die with you seems critical to, because my question is like, when you're you don't know where you are in the peaks and valleys all the time. And when you're in your lowest low, like what's the light at the end of the tunnel that's dragging you back out that says like, it's going to be okay again? Is it just going through enough of those cycles and having confidence in that?
Yeah. Once you've micro-failed enough.
Micro-failed.
Yeah. I micro-fail every day, man.
Yeah.
And that's what you learn from. And at the beginning, you take things that you normally wouldn't. And I remember saying, like, right now, we have to take even if we, are almost assured we're not going to get it, we have to do it anyway. And we want to build to the point where we are in control of the projects we take.
Yeah.
We don't have to chase that opportunity that we know is not going to happen just out of the thing that we don't have anything else to do if we're not doing that.
Yeah.
You don't know where things lead to because, maybe it hits.
Wow.
But now we're at a nice level where we don't have to take everything. And we take a lot of stuff on. We take last minute stuff on. And what we'll kind of steer away from are people that just don't fit who we are culturally. That's where we have the luxury now of saying, this isn't a project I think we want to work on. Gotcha. We're not at a spot where we have to.
Nice.
So,
well, I got to tell you, man, you're an absolute inspiration, and I can't begin to tell you how appreciative I am to have had so much of your time and getting to know you just on a personal level and all that stuff. And I just love, I could sit and chat with you forever about this stuff, but your perspective is incredibly valuable, and I appreciate you just taking the time to document with it.
I can't wait to the next one.
All right.
Form next.
All right. We'll do it again. Sounds good.
Good, man.
See you, man.